Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 376 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Good. Remind me to tell you about work, because I just made me think of something. If this is the first time you're ever seeing, hearing, or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week or every other week, two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everyone in betwixt. If you only listen on audio services, that's cool too. Just give us a 5-star review, thumbs up, or whatever your service allows. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop. where we got a lot of different benefits for you people. But the most popular is the $5 tier, where you can watch us record the podcast live on YouTube as we are doing right now. If you missed the live recording, you can also watch it one day early before it goes up on YouTube for everybody. And you get a bonus episode every month as well. Some of our patrons deserve a shout out, just like the man with the bar named after him. Also, the winner of last year's Metacritic Fantasy League contest, Mr. John Tingley, our patron saint. As well as our affiliates, Derek Bamford, James Solar. Make sure you check out James Games and more on YouTube as well. And Mom. Also our producers, Steve Appleton, Aunt Sue, and Dustin Downs. As always, if you like cool t-shirts and the like, you can go to teespring.com/stores/2player-co-op, we think. When was the last time you wore a t-shirt on a podcast? I just was starting to think about that.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I've got that isn't a bonus episode topic I've got in my head, like words, phrases that just all of a sudden you start singing. It's been a while. Podcast. My king bird, have you heard? He gonna buy you a diamond ring. Did you find out anything on The Office?
Still happening. They don't know when.
Is it actually like filming or has it or anything?
That I don't know. It's casted. Casting?
That is a word that I don't know if it's cast or casted. I don't know. Oh, work. So I said brother from my mother. So I had to, for work today, because got my new gig and everything. I'm on Phil's team. And the last thing, so I did like an employee profile for people that don't know me or don't know everything about me. I mean, they still don't know everything about me. You know what I mean? Anyways. And I was like, okay, grew up in New York. I do a Yankee symbol. Remember, we've got the office up in Andover, so a couple people were like, boo! I was like, yeah, I'm a Yankees fan, blah, blah, blah. I'm a Giants fan. It's been rough for the last so many years. Oh, actually, it's been rough ever since we beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. And one of the guys was like, yep, gotcha on that.
It is weird how from, 1991 to 2007, we sucked.
Yes.
And that felt like
we made the Super Bowl that one year.
Well, yeah.
We beat Minnesota 41-0 in the NFC, and then Kerry Collins crapped his pants.
That felt like an eternity.
And now
it's been another 14 years. We're coming close to that already with no end in sight.
No, and I know we made the playoffs with DJ, but I don't even count that.
We won a Super Bowl in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, 2010s. We got 5 years left to keep that streak going of the decade.
That is not going to happen unless we...
I saw a mock draft recently that had Tennessee taking the Penn State linebacker guy.
That's actually who I hope is there at 3, but I don't think he's...
And then is Cleveland 2? Cleveland taking Travis. And then we got Cam.
Okay.
And they had Shador going 6 to
We
Vegas.
can't take Shador. Oh, he wants to go. I almost wonder.
But I don't even know if I'm sold on Cam either.
I'm not either, but if he sucks for 2 years, then when Arch is ready to come out, we can draft him then.
And if that doesn't work, we can get Marshall.
You don't want Jameis? Marshall's, how old is he?
12.
I saw him at the Pro Bowl. He throws a pretty ball. The Pro Bowl.
We'll probably still need a quarterback when he's in the draft.
I'm sure we will. Also, work. So blah, 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 blah. And I'm doing my employee profile, and here's my family. This is my work history, blah, blah, blah. And fun fact about me and my brother make millions of dollars doing a podcast. And I said, actually, we don't. We've cashed out twice from YouTube and made $100 each time. And Phil was like, wait, but Kevin, you got to tell everybody about your brother from your mother. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, he's a tall guy. He got all the height, even though he stopped playing basketball when he was a little shrimp. And now so I hate him that he got the height and blah, 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 blah. And then somehow Phil brought up He's like, what I really think you should do is another one-chip challenge. And I said, well, that's not happening. So I explained to everybody what the one-chip challenge was and how bad it was and how I went to the fantasy draft the next day and I felt like
you
I had
should
a
have
hole in my
included a
stomach.
video of that.
After it was done, I sent the video to everybody.
Nice.
Still one of my best edits ever. And I forgot at the end, it's just me like staring into the camera as Curb plays. Oh, God. Sean?
Yes.
There's not a lot to talk about in the world of video games, so we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Other things. Super Bowl week. We didn't podcast last week, so we didn't get to talk about the depressing AFC Championship. It's just like I get my hopes up every year for Josh, and it's like, well, obviously they're not going to get the ball back. Even though it's 3rd and 7, obviously Kansas City is going to complete a pass to Samaje Perine, who has literally not touched the ball all game, and he's going to be wide open on a 3rd and 7 and run for 20 yards.
Okay. I want to talk about this. I wanted to talk about it last week, and then we didn't podcast, and I'm glad I just remembered.
Okay.
Everything I'm about to say, I say with total sincerity. Even though you'll probably laugh, some of y'all will probably laugh.
What is this?
It's fine. But I mean it. I can't do, I'm not an athlete. But I can throw a football.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the same issue. It's not really an issue, but the same thought with Tom Brady. Some of the stuff that Mahomes was doing in that game, I could do. And yes, Mahomes is a very good quarterback, obviously, whatever. But like, Mahomes isn't getting these wide receivers with nobody within 10 or 15 yards of them. Like, some of these passes, there's several of them. Like, I'm not saying like bombs down the field. I'm not saying I can throw it 50 yards, but like little 10, 15 yards, just, wide open. There's literally not a defender on camera.
Yeah.
I could do that. Like,
Right.
So either Buffalo's defense sucks, or I don't know if it's Andy Reid or Nagy, who's their offensive coordinator.
Nagy.
Like, whoever's
Or
calling
Nagy,
the plays.
Well, Reed calls the plays. I don't know what Nagy does.
Like, and it's the same thing. Now, obviously, when Brady left, he's won another Super Bowl, and New England sucked with Belichick. So that obviously wasn't all Belichick. But at the same time, it's like, that was the same thing happening with Brady. And I'm like, I don't think continuously hitting wide open receivers makes you a good quarterback. Like, literally, I could do that. I'm not saying I could have won that game, but like, you put me into a baseball game, I couldn't hit a 60 mile an hour. I was going to say fastball, a 60 mile an hour, whatever. I couldn't hit it. I couldn't return a serve in tennis.
Oh my God.
I couldn't do any of that. But when I watch Mahomes and some of these throws he makes where there's just nobody around, I'm watching this game like, I mean, I could have done that.
I do think Mahomes is awesome. But the reason I mostly think that is because of how awesome he was his first 3-4 years, whatever it was, when he still had Tyreek.
Right.
I do wonder, I think even if they finish this three-peat, people that are like, oh, he's the GOAT if he does it. I'm like, no, he's not. And it's not just the number of championships. It's not just that, because Bill Russell's not better than MJ. I need to see him post Reed. No. Because Andy Reid is mid-60s or something. He's not going to coach forever, you know?
Yeah.
I guess he could theoretically coach Mahomes the rest of his career. But if he doesn't, like, what is Mahomes going to be like without Reid? That's what I really wonder about. Because that is what's going to end up deciding the whole GOAT conversation. We've seen Brady without Belichick. He went to Tampa, who has never done nothing. I mean, I know they won one Super Bowl, but that was it. And he won it without Belichick. Belichick fell apart once Brady left. We can say who deserves the most credit, whatever. Belichick, I do think, is the greatest coach ever. I think Reid is going to have something to say about that by the time it's all said and done.
Reid, like, he didn't win any Super Bowls at Philly.
He was awesome.
But he went to, 4 or 5 straight NFC Championship games?
But
like,
he couldn't win the big game. And
right.
His
but
clock
like,
management was horrible and all that.
Well, yeah.
But I think it's a very mutually beneficial symbiotic relationship that he and Patrick have. But, so I don't think I finished my thought. If we see Mahomes without Reid, Like, what if Patrick did get drafted by the Bills? What or the Bears or whoever? I mean, the Bears took Mitchell Trubisky in that draft at number 2.
Oh my God.
And I think they moved up to get him. Yeah, they did, because everybody's like, oh, they're going to take Deshaun Watson. With the number 2 pick, they take Mitch Trubisky, North Carolina. I was like, what? Who's winning the Super Bowl?
It's the Chiefs. I hate that I have to root for the Eagles, but I mean, it's the Chiefs. I'm sick of. I don't want them to, but I'm done betting against them. I don't know.
The only way Philly wins, and I'm going to be rooting for Philly as well.
Philly wins if Saquon goes over 200. That's what I'll say.
I almost think
it's Saquon or bust.
I almost think they win if he goes over just 100. Like, Kansas City all year has not had one running back even get to 100 yards. Derrick Henry got 58 against them. That was the highest of like the top 10 running backs that they played against. I heard this stat today on a podcast. Or no, it wasn't even him. It was Chuba Hubbard went for 58 against them. They played like 4 of the top 10 running backs. The highest total any of them had was Chuba Hubbard going for 58 yards.
Nobody ran for more than 58 yards against the Chiefs.
No one hit 100 yards. But then if you just look at the top 10 running backs that they played against, none of them even went over 58.
Wow.
But I do think they're going to have to be, and I will not feel comfortable for a second in this game unless Philly is up by 2 scores with 2 minutes left and Philly has the ball. Because otherwise, in my mind, obviously, Pat's going to go down and score, either get the field goal and then do the onside kick, or get the touchdown, then onside kick, and they're probably going to recover the onside kick, and they're going to end up winning. Like, he is Thanos. He just is.
He's inevitable.
Yes, thank you, Sean. That was what I was saying. And that's why it's not just, it is the open throws and all that, but it's like, it just doesn't matter what. And it's not the refs. I think, do I think they get favorable calls? Yes, I think all good quarterbacks get favorable calls. I think some of the calls that Chiefs get are stupid. No one can look at that call when they played the Texans, and the 2 Texans hit each other in the helmet, and they're like, 15 yards, you hit Pat in the head. What? We hit each other. The Bills got the first down. Doesn't mean they would have won, but they got that friggin' first down.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was that.
Well, the guy on the side that could see the ball said he did.
I know.
The guy on the side that couldn't see anything is like, no, move it back a yard.
Sure thing. We'll go with you. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for the Super Bowl just because it's the Super Bowl. But like,
I do not care. I mean, I care about the game, and I've gotten myself to the point where I will find a reason to be happy regardless. I'm not going to be happy, but I'll find a reason. Either the Chiefs win
or the
and
Eagles lose.
Stupid Sirianni is upset and crying, and I'll be happy. Or the Eagles win and Mahomes is over there crying, and I'll be happy.
I think the only way...
Either way, I'm going to be upset, but I'm going to find a way to be happy about it instead of upset.
I think if the Chiefs win, I'm just mad. And if the Eagles win, I'm happy for Saquon. And then I'm going to be like, oh my God, Sirianni just won a Super Bowl. And I'm going to be sad. So I'll be mad if the Chiefs win, happy for a little bit. I'll be happy for Saquon, and then really sad that, I mean, the Eagles are a great team, but they have just a doofus of a coach. And like every podcast I listen to, especially Simmons and Sal, they're like, or no, I think it's mostly the Ringer Fantasy guys are like, Sirianni doesn't do anything.
No,
they
win
were this,
despite him.
They were this close to firing him. They didn't fire him. They brought him back. He didn't even get to choose his OC. He didn't choose to bring Kellen Moore in. The owner did. He didn't choose to bring in Vic Fangio. The owner did. They even were like, you're not allowed to even pick your coordinators. We're not allowing you any input on. Like, all he is a guy that like walks around and goes, hey kids, how we doing? Are we motivated? Okay.
Sometimes I wonder when you have coaches that are not calling the plays on offense or defense.
What would you say?
What do you
here?
do? Like, I could be a head coach. If you don't have to call the play, what are you doing? You're deciding when to call timeouts, when to challenge call. Like, that's what you're the head coach for?
I can manage the clock better than a lot of these NFL coaches can. Yeah. Of course, I say that sitting in my chair, not with 80,000 people screaming, but I could. It's just like I could run video game companies better than some of these idiots could.
Yeah.
Or do. So we're both going KC, but we want Philly.
Yeah, it's going to be Philly will get up early. I bet it's about 17-7, maybe 20-10 at halftime. And then Kansas City will come back. That's how all these Super Bowls go.
I could even see Philly winning the time of possession like 40-20, and KC's just now they break out the big plays, and like Worthy is just wide open going down the sideline for a 75-yard touchdown or something. Like, I think Philly's going to be able to control the clock. I know Kansas City's defense is good. I just don't think they're that good. And I think Philly's offensive line is ridiculous. And Saquon, man, Bill Simmons said it when he got drafted, and I kind of agree with him. He just couldn't show it when he was in New York, except like that first year. He might be the most talented running back I've ever seen, because the combination of his speed, his power, his vision, his athleticness, his athleticism. He did a backwards hurdle, for crying out loud. He's just like, he's better than Adrian Peterson. Now, Peterson had a much better career because Peterson didn't play for the Giants. Sacrilege, whatever. I kind of think he's better than Barry. Barry was all,
I don't know. Barry was.
He's always looking for the home run. He's going to get like 1, -1, 2, -7. And he's just like, bim, 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 and then he'd break one. He's awesome. Emmett was just 4 yards in a cloud of dust for 20 years or whatever he ran for. Emmett was awesome. But I just think, like, there's never been anybody like Saquon. I think Adrian Peterson, from like a physicality standpoint, is the closest thing to him. But I bet if you were to put, when I think of Adrian Peterson, though, like, he was jacked and everything, but he was kind of skinny and he ran very upright. Whereas Saquon is just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll be happy for Saquon.
James won't. Freaking James. Sean, this weekend we watched the Royal Rumble. Thoughts? What is up with the Saturday thing, and what is up with it starting at 6 Eastern?
I'm okay with Saturday. 6 is a little ridiculous. 6 here, perfect. 6 Eastern, that doesn't make sense.
No.
I still... It was always like... WrestleMania is number 1, obviously. And I wouldn't even say it's 1A, 1B. But Royal Rumble was number 2.
Yeah.
And I think by default... Actually, no. I'm almost to the point where I would put Money in the Bank over the Rumble. Because Money in the Bank... Now, granted, we had a totally out-of-the-blue winner. But I feel like with the Rumble, you kind of always know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Or they do something totally weird. Like a Jey Uso or a Shinsuke. Like... something just that doesn't make sense, or the most obvious thing ever. And it's never anything in between. I like Jey Uso.
I will say,
crowd loves him. When he comes
so
out
over.
And everybody, like, yeah, I mean, it's insane. So I think he would have been better served winning Money in the Bank or something. Like, I don't know that.
He's going to fight Gunther, right?
I have no idea.
After Cody. He's not going after Cody, because Cody's either going to fight. I think Cena's going to win the Elimination Chamber. I really do. Because I was seeing reports today that they are looking at doing Punk versus Rollins versus Reigns. I'm like, that's cool, but why?
Triple threats only make sense when there's a title. On the line.
When it's this, it should just be Roman hates Seth, Seth hates Roman. Punk is over here like, I feuded with Seth. No.
I still say it should be,
if they're not going to do The Rock, apparently he's just not a part of WrestleMania. If they're not doing
Roman and Rock, do Roman Seth, do Punk Cena, do, I don't know, Drew and LA Knight, or Drew and what's his face again? I don't know.
But they're going to do Drew and Damian Priest.
It just doesn't make sense to have Jay win the Rumble. It would be almost like when Charlotte won and said, I'm going to go after the minor league title.
I'm going to go to NXT. I was like, why?
So, I mean, and I'm not saying the World Heavyweight Championship, whatever it's called, is the minor leagues or whatever, but it's obviously the B title. So why would you win the Rumble and be like, I'm going to go after that not so good title? Like, it just doesn't make sense. No, jeez.
Yep, he's not going to be at WrestleMania.
So I don't know. I'm happy for Jay. I don't think it makes sense. I think that really, I mean, yeah, he's been getting a push, but like, I would have just bet my life savings when it was down to those two.
We were both like, oh my God, winning.
They're actually going to do it. And then he didn't do it.
Right.
And I'm like, so I don't know. It's going to be a weird there's a lot to live up to after last WrestleMania, and I feel like this one is just not off to a great start. And we don't even have a single match yet. I get it, but like the bloodline, like
Yeah, so
I'm
what's
ready for the
Sikoa gonna
bloodline to
doing?
be over.
I think it basically is at this point. Like, where Solo wasn't even at the Rumble.
Right. We don't need Roman versus Solo. Like we're done with that. If you're not going to do Roman and Rock, I guess you do Roman and Seth, but like it's weird now with the way they built it up, or the way they built him up, to have Roman just being in like a
Just a match.
right, just nothing on the line, no titles, just I don't know, fight your old buddy that you've already fought a half a dozen times.
It is
like,
funny, though, now that you say that, I'm like, yeah, I wonder how many pay-per-views have actually had triple threat matches without
it doesn't
a
make
title.
sense. Yeah, like
who cares?
the three of you don't like each other. It just I don't know.
And it's not even like it matters if it's for the number one contender. Like, who cares? This is WrestleMania. We don't care about what happens next, you know?
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
I thought the show was really good. I thought the Rumble itself was really good. I was sad that Cena didn't win. I'm very happy for Jay that he's getting the push. By the way, I'm still a little surprised that the Usos have gotten these pushes over and over and over again. Which is the bad brother?
Jimmy.
It is,
Which
Jimmy,
I think
not
is
Jay.
Why Jay has
Okay.
kind of
When I say the
separated
bad
himself.
brother, he's had DUI a few times and like drug stuff too, or something.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so that makes me happy at least that it's not Jay. The show was really good. The title match with Owens, like obviously we all knew Cody was winning that. But Owens and Cody was awesome.
And that gets back like what we were talking about at the Rumble. I feel like we've just gotten to the point now. It's a pendulum. And for a while, back in like the early 2000s, actually like even maybe 99-ish, the pendulum had swung so far the other way that like you were lucky if anybody held the title for more than about 2 months. Like it was just constantly just changing hands and whatever.
Sometimes a week, sometimes a day. Kane beat Stone Cold and then on Raw the next day.
Yeah. And now it's like, no, if you win the title, you're going to have it for at least a year, and we're only doing title changes at WrestleMania now.
Right.
Unless it's like a Saudi Arabia. I don't even remember where Gunther won it. But again, that's like a B title. Obviously, there has not been a single, like, I think Cody's done a good job at carrying the company on his back. Having said that, I think the title reign has been mediocre at best. And that's not a Cody issue. That's a booking issue. There's not a single person, like, to have him overcome those odds. Like, man, do you think he's going to lose the title at Vengeance against, like, I don't even know if that exists
Drew
anymore, but like,
McIntyre, whatever.
there hasn't been a single match yet that I'm like, oh God, do you think he's going to win that? Like,
yeah.
There's no drama. And that's how it was with Roman too. You're like, okay, the way they built him up, he's obviously only going to drop the title at Mania. So all these weird, like when he would fight Rollins or Owens or Brock, like, or Logan Paul. It's
Cena,
like,
but that was early on. I thought Cena was going to beat him. And
yeah, that's
didn't.
before he was like the tribal
Unstoppable,
chief. Yeah. But it's just like, I miss the days when you never knew what was going to happen. And right now it's like,
it's like
it's like everything that's not Mania is now like a house show
We
where
can
you
see
know
through the
nothing
Matrix.
of
Yeah. It's yeah. I mean, I agree with you about Cody's reign. I think Cody is. I'm just so glad that the fans haven't turned on him yet, because
Yeah.
I just figured they would have. You coming off of I'm not going to say it's not the best match I've ever seen. It's probably the craziest title match I've ever seen, with the way they did that match. Because and I'm talking about last WrestleMania, we knew the whole time the bloodline was going to get involved. We knew somebody was going to be there to back Cody up. We didn't know who and how. And then all of a sudden, Cena's there. He's staring down the Rock, and he gets a rock bottom. And then the friggin' Undertaker shows up, and he chokeslams the Rock. And then Cody picks up Roman after, and he slams it. He does the Cody the Crossroads 3 times. And I'm like, please God, why are you doing this 3 times again? You're going to get a solo spike or something again. And they did it perfectly. that was like the highest of highs. That was like the craziest, probably the craziest title match. And I don't mean the best or even the most happy I've been, but the craziest title match since 17 when it was Stone Cold and Rock.
Yeah.
And they went for like 40 minutes and they were beating the hell out of each other. And Stone Cold did the turn. Like I was almost as happy. The last time I was as happy as Cody finally winning it was WrestleMania 30 when D-Bry did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's just no one. They've built. You're right. They've built everybody up. Well, not everybody. They've built up the main title holder to just be unbeatable. I never thought Cody was Stardust 10 years ago. Never thought he would be this unbeatable. I'm glad he is. I always knew he had the talent. It's just they just didn't know what to do with him, and until he went and did AEW.
Yeah,
I don't know, but it was awesome. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got in the Rumble. Sean, did you finish season 2 of Nocturne?
I did.
Thoughts?
I liked it a lot. Are we going no spoilers here?
Let's go spoiler light or just kind of talk around things because I'll know what you mean.
Just in general.
Oh, sorry.
This season 1, probably like as a whole, 7 out of 10.
It ended here. Yeah.
Yeah. This, I'm not saying every episode was a banger, but like the season, probably 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
The final 2 episodes were like unreal.
Ridiculous.
It's weird that, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, but whatever. There was an obvious absence so far from Nocturne.
And that's what the only thing I've heard some people say.
But I didn't miss it.
I thought the big bad was awesome.
Like, yeah.
Erzsébet was a phenomenal villain.
Yeah.
And also, but do you remember how that missing person, okay, Dracula, remember how season 4 ended of the original series? Like after Trevor beats death, spoiler alert. I mean, it's like 3 years old at this point. Do you remember how, because they were trying to make the Rebus, which was like they were trying to pull Dracula's soul from hell into this body that was put all these pieces so that he would go crazy and want to murder everybody in the world so death could keep feeding off of the death.
Yeah.
And then they destroyed the Rebus.
Yep. Okay,
So it's like the one thing I'm confused about, as much as this was awesome, I don't know how, because I assume Symphony of the Night is what they're going to do next. But how do you do Symphony of the Night when you don't have Dracula anywhere?
Well, but there's a lot to... So did anything that we've seen, other than the characters, have anything to do with Rondo?
Not really, no.
Okay, because I don't remember any of the story about Rondo. And it's not like Symphony really had a story. It's...
Well, so I
you
read
got
up
Belma
on that after.
and Dracula, and they fight, and what it like...
Richter disappears, which is why Alucard... So they must have had some kind of a relationship in Rondo, or between Rondo and Symphony. Richter's gone missing. The castle shows back up. So Alucard's like, Richter's gone. The castle's here. What the hell? That's why he goes and, then he fights him and he realizes he's under control. And some people have said maybe that, because Richter's going off with
Celeste.
Annette.
Annette.
Celeste. That's not a word. With Annette. So like, maybe that's them kind of like, Annette's going to be like, he's gone. She's going to come back like, he's gone. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Old Man Coyote. That's what I was getting. That's what I didn't tell you, but I was like, there's something that's only going to show up like 3 times. And everybody, as soon as I was done with the series, I was like, what the hell is this guy? This thing. Like, he's the one that like when, Olrox goes like into the church and he sees like the book, like how to make a transformer machine. And he's like, that's when he shows up the first time and he's like, oh no, nice try, you little trickster, whatever. And he just burns the book. Okay. And then he shows up another time. I can't remember what. Oh, it's with him, when him and his boy are doing the thing. And he's like, oh, not. But then he calls him something else, not Old Man Coyote. He calls him something else.
Yeah.
And then it shows up again at the very end. I'm like, Shaft?
Shaft was the first thing that popped into my mind, but I don't think Shaft is like a
I don't even know what Shaft is.
He's not like a undead, like he's like a sorcerer or something. He's not like some weird shadow death looking creature.
But it's
like we've done death.
Right.
Maybe that's just death again. Like
right, but like what do you do? But also the thing, remember when that one character died, when that was crazy, when Maria actually was like, no, F this. And
yeah.
And then the old man Coyote shows up and just kind of goes, and then the dude's burned body is just gone because he sucked it into the underworld. Like old man Coyote, there's something in like Aztec lore or like, you know, stories and everything about old man Coyote. No one has been able to figure it out. And I haven't looked that much since, you know, the first few days after I watched it, but, and I still don't think we've heard if season 3 is actually going to happen, but I don't know. Yeah. I was like, either it's Shaft, who I know nothing about, or it's Death again, but like we already did Death. Trevor killed Death. I guess you can't really kill Death. Like, how do you kill Death? I don't know. Death.
Bring him to life.
Bring me, wake me up. But you liked it.
I liked it, and recency bias and all that. There's a part of me that thinks that might be my favorite season, but I think it's at worst the second best.
For me, it's third.
Yeah, I think it's second for me.
I would go 2, 4, 3, 3.
3.
Yeah, there's only one. 2,
2, 4, 2.
Oh, 2, 4, 2, 3,
1, 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad, like, I feel like we finally, and we got a little, actually for most of the season, but like, one of the main problems I had in season 1 is I'm like, I don't really care about Richter. I want to, but you've not given me any reason to care about him. And now I'm like, oh no, he's awesome now.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Maria's awesome
a
now.
Badass, yeah.
Annette, I mean, I like Annette in general, but when she's like
that whole
Super Saiyan Annette, like that whole thing, that was awesome.
Well,
like,
even that, but when she went into the world, whatever, I think that must have been episode 6. Because is it the end of 6 when she wakes up as the thing, but she's not really awake, and then 7 goes crazy, 8 goes crazy. Okay, like that whole thing going through the world and everything, and then you see that she's actually still, like, even though you've got like the sun whatever thing here, and she's still in that world fighting against the big devil dog thing, and the whole thing with Richter and her, like I'm like, I actually care about this relationship. And like he's reaching across space and time much better than like stupid Last Jedi did, or no, Last Starfighter. No, what's it called?
Skywalker, Revenge of Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. We got there where it's like, huh, I've got a lightsaber, whoop, and now you're way over there, and now you have it. Like I thought it was really well done. I just don't know, like especially how do you do Symphony when Dracula was also? It's almost like they wrote him too well in the first series, because
what do you do now?
They humanized him, and they made, by the end, I'm killing my boy. I was like, oh my God, like this is so well done. They humanized this man. He was just mad at, like by the time he was ready to die, he was like, whatever, I'm gonna kill a bunch of people, whatever, I don't care. Like he just misses his wife. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Also, I don't know. So Tara, I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
And the old man Coyote shows up next to her at the end. I'm like, so what? So Tara is going to play a big role, but I don't think she's going to end up being a big bad or something. I
don't think so.
Because she clearly still has her humanity, like the guy. You know, like some of them still keep their humanity. Also, I was a little annoyed that Drolta was just like, well, yeah, we killed her, but meh, she's back. You can bring...
Well, yeah.
The dead vampire can be brought back into a vampire night creature who also can just go in the sun. That was the one thing I was like, I mean, she's badass and these fights I know are going to be awesome, but I was like, that's kind of a cop out.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely liked it. Season 1 was kind of tough to get through, but it finished strong.
Yes.
Season 2, there was never like oh my God. Like, yeah, every episode was at least good.
Yeah.
I feel like every episode meant something in season 2.
And remember what you were saying? I think you were saying about season 1, how like at the end, Richter was like bah, 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 with his flame fist and everything. He's just that the whole season 2. Yeah. He's just like, magic is awesome. I'm gonna kill you with it.
Yeah,
he's so cool. I was so the Morning Star. Whatever happened to the Morning Star? Like, cause he just uses a whip now. He does like the blue whip, almost like Bloodlines.
Yeah,
but like, where's the Morning Star? And I love when Alucard will say stuff about, like like he'll make jokes like, "Oh my God, I'm becoming a Belmont." You know what I mean? Like that. He's so well written too. I love it. Anything else, Sean?
No, I'm looking forward to season 3 though.
I hope it happens. It has to. It was in the top 10 for 2 weeks. It did better than the first season of Nocturne did. It's got to get a season 3. I almost wonder if it'll only get season 3 though. We'll see. Sean, have you played anything else other than the big one?
That is that the big one?
I mean, I thought so.
I mean, I'm like, wait, did something new come out? I played some more Silent Hill 2.
Awesome.
I still like it. I think I just died and lost a good deal of progress. I was like, ugh.
How does saving work in that game? I guess I never even thought to ask that.
There's like little red.
Like
I don't know if
Resident
it's supposed
Evil?
to be a mirror, but there's like little red things you find on the wall. And when you save, it like shows it up close and you kind of see your face in it. So I'm like, is that a mirror? Like what? And what am I even looking at? But yeah, they're like they're save points.
Okay. So it's not like when you just go in the next house, it auto saves.
No.
Okay.
I lost some decent progress. And I'm like, now I know where to go. It's a lot more, it almost plays more like a Last of Us kind of thing than Resident Evil. So in the beginning, it was kind of Resident Evil, like, even though you're outside, which is not very Resident Evil. Well, the new ones, I guess it is. But you're like in a town. And you're like, where do I go? Now that I'm in this like apartment building, and now I'm in a different apartment building, it's like there's only one way to go. Like you can't go down this hallway, but you can go into this door. You can go into this apartment, and there's a hole in the wall to get into this apartment, and then you can get into this apartment. Now you're in the hallway, and you can go into this apartment, and you can go out on the balcony to get into this apartment. Like if you just look at the map, it's literally like a line that you can draw. So it seems kind of like when you look at a map, you're like, I got this whole apartment building with several floors. I'm like, where do I go? But once you actually start playing it, you're like, well, there's only one way you can really go. But last time this happened when I died, I'm like, okay, I know where to go now. I don't think I realized it till later, but I'm like, oh crap, I just ran past so much like ammo and healing stuff because I didn't feel like, and I don't remember.
Just want to get to where
there's
you
so
were,
many like cabinets and drawers and stuff to open, and 90% of them are empty. I don't know, maybe 70% of them are empty, but like you want those healing items and you want that ammo. So I'm like, I'm so tempted to just run back through and just go like, so I don't know. I haven't played it since. But yeah, that's the only other thing I played.
We both played a game, and Sean platinumed it, and I still haven't even beaten it. I've just been so busy at work. It sucks. Ender Magnolia.
So I didn't realize until I double-checked my profile. I screwed up on Twitter, and I can't.
Was it number 100?
No, it was 99, but I thought it was 98.
Oh, okay.
I counted. I have 297s on Twitter. So I think it was Iron Meat that I think I counted as the second 97. It should have been 98. So this is 99. So whatever's next is going to be 100. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be Silent Hill or what, but yeah.
Ender Magnolia. I freaking love this game.
Mm-hmm.
You do too. Okay.
Easily my game of the year so far.
Definitely for me. It's one of one. It literally is one of one game I played this year. How does it compare
to the first?
To Ender Lilies, yeah.
I think it's pretty similar. The one thing, and I may be totally wrong, but the way I remember Ender Lilies is your abilities, which kind of are like your weapons and your abilities and your whatever. There's what, like 10 of them, I think.
Wasn't there like 1 billion in the first one?
Well, this one it's like 10, but like 3 different like sub abilities for each one.
Right.
I think in the first one it's just
okay.
almost like 30 different ones instead of 10 different ones with 3 each.
Gotcha.
The end result is more or less the same, but I feel like it's pretty similar. Like, there's no way, if you love this game, absolutely play Ender Lilies. There's no way that you would be like, oh, this one isn't as good. I mean, you might think it's not as good, but it's still, if you love this one, you'll at least like the first one a lot.
The only thing I worry about is I've been reading online is that like Ender Lilies is way more difficult. And there's no difficulty options until you do New Game Plus is what I read.
See, I don't remember that. I mean, that might be true, but I don't remember that.
But I think this game is... It didn't get super difficult until all of a sudden it was like, the difficulty spikes in this are crazy.
Yeah.
Like a couple of bosses you get to it, I'm like, I've been doing all right on normal. And then it's like, I don't have a chance in hell of beating this guy. I have to drop it down to easy. Like,
yeah.
It was very weird for me to get used to, like you said, your buddies and your abilities and stuff. The first time, yes.
I was just going to say one thing I noted, because I remember you said that at the beginning, where it's like, and I had the same thought. You're like, I'm controlling this person, but that person doesn't do anything. When you attack, somebody else shows up and attacks, but eventually you just kind of forget about it.
Yeah. And
what I noticed, and I don't know if I do this in every game or every 2D game or every Metroidvania, I don't know. I realized when I'm playing this game, and I don't know, maybe this isn't that weird, but like, I'm not looking at my character. I'm looking ahead of my character.
You're looking right in front.
Yeah, like
once you get used to it, yeah. Because at first I wasn't used to it, and I was like,
and so,
I'm
and
going
I don't know if I'm doing that in this game because of that weird kind of mechanic, or if I went back and played Symphony, am I also never looking at my character? I'm always just kind of looking at what my character is. Like, I'm always looking 2 steps ahead. But I noticed that playing this game, like, I'm not even looking at her. I'm looking just ahead of her in whatever direction I'm going. But
yeah, it's so for if you don't know, if you didn't play the first one, you haven't played this, Ender Magnolia. So you play a little girl named Lilac. The story seems really cool. I haven't beaten it yet. I like how when you beat a boss, if you can tune them or whatever and make them be your buddy, you see their memories and stuff, and she's starting to put things together, and you find out her main buddy Nola is like, she doesn't remember anything either, but apparently she was like some badass like executioner style assassin whatever thing. But you don't actually attack with Lilac. You have a soul. Think of it like a soul or something that's your buddy, and Lilac will go like hoo ha he, and your buddy Nola will come out with her sword, and like Sean was saying, it was tough for me to get used to at first because I was like, the buddy Nola is in front of me, and I'm used to being like, my character attacks this far, but I'm like. It was like I would get too close to enemies at the beginning because I'd be like, oh God, I'm not the one attacking. And I would just like take so much damage at the beginning, but you get used to it.
The one thing that kind of confused me here and there is like during boss fights, I'd go up and I'd like attack, and then I'd get like knocked across the screen. So I'm over there. Health. Well, I'm all the way over there now, but Nola or whoever is still right like next to the boss.
The animation or something.
And I'm like, oh wait, that's not me anymore. I'm way over there. And like, I would kind of forget which one was actually me, but yeah.
I think I'm at, I forgot to check. I wanted to check how far I was in the game. Do you know when you platinumed it and beat it and everything, how long you had played it? I think I'm at like 13 hours. I'm level 62 now, I think, something like that.
That's about what I think I was mid 60s, and I would guess around.
Does it tell you on the app? I can never remember.
I don't think it does. I could probably remote in. But yeah, I don't really remember.
Sign in. I think it does tell me.
But yeah, one thing that's nice about the game is it's very... it's not a difficult platinum. It's not like an easy game, but the platinum isn't that much more difficult than just like beating the game. Like getting the platinum is not If you beat the game, you can get this platinum. I guess is kind of what it comes down to.
Oh, it says I played 18 hours.
Where'd
That's
you-
probably because
where do
I've
you-
died in the game multiple times and I had to go back. You know what I mean? So the game clock might not be 100%.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, it's in the app if you just go to the main page. 18 hours.
But what I was going to say is, oh my god,
Yeah, I had to do that.
why? The game is set up where like it makes it very, I don't want to say easy, but very, I don't know, fair. I like how every room turns blue when you're done with it.
The map is awesome. In
And
this
so
game.
like for the most part, I turned everything blue as I was going. Now sometimes I'd be like, I don't know what I'm missing,
Right.
or I obviously can't get that.
I can't
yet,
get
so
up
whatever.
there. So
but like,
yeah.
I did not ever really want to move on to a new room without it turning blue. And so by the time I got to the end of the game, I'm like, all right, well, oh, now I can get that. Now I can get that. Well, let's go back here. Oh, you know what? I've never been down to that corner. Ah, there we go. So I think it was set up very well where it's not super like handholdy, but it's also very just, I don't know. None of the like the secret like invisible walls type things are that complicated.
You can usually tell there's one there
Yes.
because like you can see the wall and there'll always
It's
be
like
like
a
a
little-
little indent or something.
Yeah.
And
The only thing I didn't like, and you're kind of about to the point, the different like growths, like the barriers.
oh, I've been doing that.
So
Yeah. In the upper stratum, whatever.
yeah. So
I love that. Now that I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
I
I know
get
the
it.
room.
I have to go here to get in there so I can go up there and then I can get against the wall and go and go all the way to the other side of this area, break through that wall, go up here, now go all the way back, break through that. Now I can hit the switch to open the door that's down here. So
right.
now that I get it, I'm like, okay, this is, I love the puzzle solving stuff in this.
Well, so there's like the normal vertical
Yeah.
barriers that you have to go horizontally through, and you get the thing that lets you go through them.
Yeah.
But then some of them are underwater. Some of them are the ones that you have to do the wall boost thing, whatever.
Some of them you got to be the dog.
And it shows you like a red icon on it. I don't know if it's like the Ghostbusters, the circle with the line through it or what, but there's some kind of red icon on it, like saying like
You can't do this
do
yet.
this one
Yeah.
yet.
I was like, thank you. That's what I'm saying. The map
And
in
so
this game is
there's, like,
fantastic.
There's only one or two, maybe three. I think there's at least 2 keys you can get to open doors or barriers or whatever. And again, they'll show you on the map like red. Can't do that yet. There's this one down in the bottom left corner. I don't know if you've been there yet. That's like a barrier or door that you need a key to get through.
I haven't tried it yet because every time I look at the map, I was like, have I done anything yet? I look
Well,
at the map
right.
and it's just all red lines.
Exactly. And when I was getting towards the end, I'm like, where else can I go? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't have any areas that I haven't finished.
But I still haven't done the Edge of Creation or whatever the hell it's called.
Land of Origin.
Yeah. Edge of Creation, I think that was Final Fantasy Rebirth.
Yes.
Is that where they were fighting him and stuff? Yeah.
But one thing I don't like, and I don't feel like this is ruining anything for you. At some point, and I don't know when it happens, don't just see that one in the bottom left corner that has the red thing through it and think, well, I can't do that yet. I'm not going to bother going there. Eventually, go there and you fight a boss. And when you kill that boss, you get the thing that opens that door. So it's weird where it's like, no, you can't go here yet, but you actually have to go there in order to get the
To
thing that
trigger
you
the
need to
boss
then
fight so you
open
can
it.
go through it.
So
Okay.
yeah, I kept seeing that down there. I'm like, I'm not going to bother going there because it says
I
I can't
haven't
go
gone
in there
there
yet.
forever because it was
And
just
so I'm
red
looking
lines.
over the rest
Yeah.
of the map. I'm like, well, I know I can't do that. I know I can't do that. I know I can't do it. I'm like, where do I go? The other thing that happened, and this is on me, this is just pure stupidity, but I actually had to look it up online, and I'm not the only one that did it. What's his name? Not Dalton. Declan's area. The part where you have to go up the tower.
Yes.
And then eventually you kind of jump back down, and you can open the switch to go back in.
Yes.
I didn't realize you could go right there. Oh, that's once you go right, you end up in Declan's hideout or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was not just a wall.
It-
So when
it
I
does
dropped
look
down,
weird. Yeah.
I thought it was just, oh, now I've activated the shortcut so I can just get back in and that's my exit.
Right.
And then again, I'm like, I don't know where to go. and I looked online. I'm like, I basically said, I just did this, stuck, where to go, whatever. And I think I ended up on Reddit or something. And somebody was like, just out of curiosity, have you been to Declan's, whatever, like east of that tower? And sure enough, the person was like, oh my God, I feel like such an idiot. I'm like, wait, what are they talking about? So I go to the map. I'm like,
oh my God,
that's not a wall. So I went up there, and sure enough,
Yep.
then I was in the whole new area. But
there have been some parts of this, because that just made me think, because that tower thing on the left side, isn't that where there's an item all the way at the top?
Yeah.
That you can't get to until you can get that one power up. But even then, I'm like, I can't go high enough. And the way I feel like there's some of the puzzles in this that I have solved kind of like Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild style, where I'm just bullshit my way and somehow I get up there. There's a place where I'm in now in the upper stratum or whatever. It's like I killed all the enemies in this area, and I can tell it's not blue, and I've touched every wall. There's nothing, but if you stand over to the right before you go into the next room, there's a wall that kind of goes like, it's above you. It goes up straight, and then it goes at an angle up like this. But where you're standing on the ground below it, there's water, and you can only get so far so that you can push your up thing. And over on the left,
from the very edge, you can kind of clip around the wall, sort of.
And
I think I did the same thing.
I finally did, and then I did like the circle, like the dash forward, and then I did a jump, and then I did R2.
Yeah,
and I was like,
was that the right way?
God,
but I did the same. I know
Okay.
exactly what you're talking about. I did it the same way.
But I had to do something like that at the Tower of the Hera, whatever that thing was, when you had to get that thing all the way at the top. Because even when I got the go up power up, I was like, I'm not going up enough.
Right.
The map also, this game feels like it is ginormous. Now, I don't know if
I think it's bigger than Ender Lilies.
Okay.
I don't remember that one being that big.
My favorite buddy, because I know you told me at the beginning you were using, what's his name?
The drill thing.
The drill.
I use that almost, so
Now
I pretty much always use.
exclusively.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I use the drill just because it doesn't do much damage, but it like eats away their stun bar.
Yeah.
So either the enemies are so weak that I can just kill them with that without trying, or it just gets rid of their stun bar, and then
Right.
And I use the heavy axe thing like exclusively.
I like the sickle thing the most, but right now I've got...
Okay, I was only level 64 when I beat it.
Okay.
And 16 and a half hours.
Okay. See, I think my game clock is around 13, so I've got a little bit to go. But I like the sickle thing the best. But with Nola, I've leveled up the regular sword all the way and the axe all the way. And I'm like, well, I don't want to use the sickle thing now, because I like it because the way she does her attacks, like she does a high one, and then she comes through, and then she ends it going like,
yeah,
and I like that she goes, because the sword is more like, like a rapier or something.
Right.
But yeah, I use the gun all the time now, especially when you see these robots that either they'll do like the electricity around them. I'm like, no, I'm just going to kill you from far away. Or you got the floating robots that after a little bit, they go pew, 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 and they shoot balls of fire everywhere. Yeah. I love using the gun. What else? Difficulty spikes are crazy. It seems like you level up in this very quickly.
Yeah. But when you level up, that was one thing that seemed weird to me. Like when I was leveling up, I'm like, am I missing something? Yeah. I'm like, I guess you just get incrementally better stats, but there's no like points to cash in on like a skill tree or anything like that, which
it's
maybe
all
the first
about
one wasn't like that either, but
it's all about your bracelets and your relics.
Yeah.
And the carapace or whatever it is.
One thing I will say, I feel like a lot of those are just worthless.
Yes.
Like most of the relic, I'm like, ooh, my jumping attack power goes up by like 10%. I'm like, that 10%? I mean, I don't know. Who cares? There's like 30%? Like, yeah, I'm going to start jumping for every attack. But I'm like, there's so many of them that they're like situational based at best. Like there's one where like your underwater attacks are more powerful.
It's like, and that one's 30%, but it's like,
I use that on Declan.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's like,
okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I think a lot of them, I think I only powered up You're far enough where you can like power up the
I've
relics,
done.
right?
Remember, I was trying to power them all up, and then you're like,
yeah.
you don't have
No, there's no trophy for that. I think I only powered up 2, maybe 3 of them.
Okay.
One was just like a defense one.
Yeah.
And
I powered up the one that lets you, it starts out that every enemy you kill, you get 3% of your HP back.
Yeah.
I leveled it up to 4%.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem
and
like
I did
a
the
lot,
one for
but
extra XP.
Yeah.
I think those might have been the 3. But even that, I'm like, what's the point? This isn't really doing much.
And now I'm using the carrot or the totem. I was using the one that once you get below 10%, it just fills your life up all the way.
I use that more than any of them.
And then I got one that was like, it'll fill up your SP, like your attack gauge and your HP if you get down to 15%. Then I just got one that actually gets you 2 more heals. So I've got 5 heals now. And I'm like, I think I like that one better. But maybe like when I get to the final boss, if I'm getting my butt kicked, I'll go to one of the auto replenish ones.
Yeah.
One thing I wrote down here that's funny is like you start out the game. I'd forgotten about this until I went back and thought about it. You start out the game with R2 as a roll. And then it's like within 15 minutes, you get the dash. I'm like, why didn't you just... Exactly.
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
Why didn't you just give us the dash from the beginning? I just think it's weird.
Wow, I don't remember that at all.
So yeah, so I'm in the upper stratum now. I've made almost everything as blue as I can. I know there's one room that's not blue yet because I haven't gone... Oh, there's like one door that I haven't gone on the other side to unlock or something. I haven't done the Land of Origin yet. I'm saving that for after I beat after I get the first ending. But now I did most of the area, the one big area in the middle of the upper stratum, like the first upper stratum area where you do all the puzzle solving with the walls. You got to fly all the way across. I haven't opened everything there yet, but I got to the next level where you go in a teleporter and you go up to the next thing. And that's where I stopped. So I was like, I feel like this has got to be getting close to the end.
Okay.
Am I close to the end?
The way I remember that area being, there's like an area like this, and then there's an area like this. I think there's almost like 3 levels.
Okay.
So if you get to like the 3rd,
I think that's what this is. Yeah.
I think from there, I think it's like this, and then this, and then this kind of almost like pyramid-ish. So once you go up again, or once you see where you can go up, basically when you get to another, say like a bench thing, and then there's like another way to go up, that's the final boss. So I think you're pretty close.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it. This game's awesome. I mean, we joke that it's our game of the year. It's the only game we've played so far this year. This game's a solid like 9. I don't know yet where I would put it on my favorite Metroidvanias or anything like that, but I love this game.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it was rated better than the first one. I don't know. I don't remember much about the first one, but I know I loved that one too. But now I don't really remember anything about it. I couldn't tell you if this one is better or not, but they're both awesome.
Let's see. I do want to look up Ender Lilies difficulty. This game is just too damn difficult.
That's what it says.
You can adjust things like how much damage enemies are doing.
Ender Lilies? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think I want to go back and play that. Was that as easy a platinum? Not that this is easy, but like you said, this platinum's very just straightforward and everything. Is that how Lilies was?
If you'll remember, I think it was the last time we podcasted, and I said the only thing I remember about the platinum in Ender Lilies is there's this one collectible thing, and I can remember, I'm going on record with this. So if you end up playing the game and getting the platinum, there's like, you get to a new area.
Okay.
And I picture it being reddish yellow. I don't know if it's lava or what, but like it looks like you would think like the inside of a volcano would look like fire and stuff. And you come in from the left and you're kind of up on a ledge and you can drop down and there's a save. And up here is something you need, like a collectible, a relic or whatever. And I'm like, how do I get from here all the way to up there? And I remember that's all I remember about the platinum. And I think that was one of the last things I did. And I think it was a similar thing to like what we were just talking about, where you almost have to do like these weird tricks that you don't even know if that's the right way to do it. But
Right.
you have to like jump and dash and double jump and then use an ability to get a little bit further. And then you can just barely grab a ledge and pull yourself out. It was something weird like that. I don't remember it being that difficult of a platinum. Probably not much worse than this one. But I just remember that part annoying me. And maybe it was just something where I'm like, I know there's something right there and I don't know how to get it. And then all of a sudden I beat the game and I'm like, I don't have any new abilities that let me get there. And then eventually it was this weird trickery thing that you had to do to get there. But that's all I really remember of it. But no, I don't remember it being particularly difficult.
I may go back and play it because this game's awesome. So yeah. When I looked up a trophy guide on PSN Profiles is what it pulled up. It said the platinum difficulty is a 7 out of 10 for Lilies.
That doesn't seem right, but I don't know.
But that's all I've been playing. Fantastic game. It really is my game of the year so far. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. All right, Sean, we don't really have news of the week. The only news item I had is to go over NPD / Circana results for December, as well as all of 2024, and some other sales notes, so let's go through them. When it comes to software in December, number 1, of course, was Blops 6. Number 2, Madden 25. 3, College Football 25. 4, EAFC 25. You got to think, so people are getting PlayStations and Xboxes for Christmas, and everybody loves sports games. So it's just like, bloop, and everybody loves Call of Duty, obviously.
Right.
Number 5, Super Mario Party Jamboree. And we got that for our kids for Christmas. So that's a straight up, that's a fantastic Christmas present. Sonic X Shadow Generations is number 6. 7, Hogwarts Legacy. Makes sense, I guess, because it's Harry Potter, and you're getting new systems, and it's like, oh, there's a Harry Potter game.
Yeah.
Number 8, Astrobot. Number 9, Minecraft. Number 10, NBA 2K25. I have a note here that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle debuted at number 14. It was the only new game in December to even make the top 20. Not bad when you figure most people just played it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that to come to PlayStation. I think I'm in. I think I'm in. When it comes to the full year, this makes me so mad. Number 1 for the year, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. It passed College Football 25, which is number 2. I was hoping so much that it was going to hold on, but I was like, it probably not, because it's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Number 3, Helldivers 2. Number 4 for the year in the US, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which blows my mind.
Yeah, that's weird.
Number 5, NBA 2K25. 6, Madden 25. 7, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. 8, EAFC 25. Number 9 for the year, Elden Ring.
That's awesome.
2 years old, 2.5 years old by this point. Shadow of the Erd Tree was huge, so people are buying it. And then number 10 was the EA Sports MVP bundle. I do wonder if they would have counted that. I guess
probably would have.
Yeah, it probably would have
taken
Black Ops.
Yeah.
So this is now 16 years in a row that a Call of Duty game has been number 1 for the year in the US. That's insane.
16 years in a row.
PS5 did finish number 1 in hardware units sold and hardware dollars sold. Xbox finished number 2 in dollars sold. Switch was number 2 in units sold. The PS5, while overall it's lagging behind where the PS4 was at in its life cycle right now, in the US, the PS5 is actually outselling the PS4, I think by like 6% or something. So it's close, but it's outselling it. Unfortunately for Microsoft, well, not unfortunately, they don't give a shit. Xbox Series consoles are lagging behind the Xbone. And the Xbone, if we all remember, was bad. And it didn't sell at all. Microsoft, man. But
when you figure this is an Xbox and that's an Xbox,
everything's
and that's
an Xbox.
an Xbox.
Everything's sold. Every phone is an Xbox. So actually, they were number 1 in dollars and units.
No.
Speaking of Microsoft, when it comes to software, they're doing just fine because they were the top publisher globally in December and on PlayStation. 64% of spending on all Microsoft published games in December came from PlayStation.
That's hilarious.
With an estimated revenue on PlayStation for December of $465 million. Xbox, Microsoft's probably like, why the hell didn't we do this like 10 years ago? Microsoft also put out their earnings for Q2 of fiscal year 2025. Gaming revenue overall was down 7%. Xbox hardware revenue was down 29%. They're selling like no Xboxes. Like it is sad. If you look at every quarter, it's like down 37%, down 27%, down 29%. It's bad. But content and services was up 2%. And I was reading I think it was Matt Piscatella said in one of his tweets or his, what do you call blue sky things? Bleats?
Bloops.
That it seems like Call of Duty did have an impact on Game Pass, but that it was like a moderate increase. Like it didn't seem like, based on what Matt was saying, that it was like this groundbreaking thing that Microsoft was probably hoping it would be.
Yeah.
But their content and services did go up by 2%, so that's good. Black Ops 6 did have more players in its launch quarter than any other paid release in Call of Duty history. They say paid release because obviously that doesn't count Warzone. So it's the most played Black Ops 6 game ever, which makes sense because it's on Game Pass, and it led all game sales on PlayStation and Xbox for all of Q4. So even if people aren't playing it on Game Pass, they're still buying it on Xbox, which I'm sure they're fine with. Actually, they might not be. They might want them to do Game Pass.
To me, that's not a good thing.
Right.
Like, I stand by what I've said, that I can't imagine there's many people outside of James that have an Xbox that don't have Game Pass.
Where's the growth? Yeah.
So if
where can it come from? If you're not selling consoles, it's all going to be people playing Xbox on their TV Xbox gaming app or whatever it's called.
Right. They're not selling many consoles, and most of the people that have the console, like, I would like to know how many were sold on PlayStation versus how many were sold on Xbox. I bet it's 10-1.
I was going to say, at first I was like 2 or 3 to 1. I was like, wait, what am I saying? No, it's way more than that.
Yeah.
Probably is about 10 to 1.
But we'll never know.
We won't. Xbox does not release numbers, so we'll see. Now, Sean, it's time for the wrap up. In something that Colin has been predicting and saying for a while was already done and just sitting there ready to be released, has now officially been announced, and the hits just keep on coming. Microsoft announces Forza Horizon 5 is coming to PS5 this spring.
Now, that's the one where it's just like open world. Like,
it's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, I played it when we got the kids the Series S for Christmas in 2020, and I subscribed to Game Pass. And even just using the Series S, playing through that on the TV, I was like, holy shit, this is beautiful.
Really?
Buttery smooth, awesome. I didn't play it a whole lot. We had fun just driving around and stuff, me and Casey and the boys and stuff. But
Casey and I.
Shut up. I know. I'm sorry, Mom. I said shut up. It's a
You owe
quarter
Mom
in the
$1.
jar. No, a quarter. And I said me and not I. So Forza, because Microsoft, if you think, they've got 3 big gaming franchises that are actually theirs, not Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They got Halo, they got Gears, and they got Forza. Okay, the other 2 are coming this year.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm not going to buy Forza. I bet it's going to sell like crazy.
Probably, yeah.
Xbox had their developer direct. Remember, they were teasing a secret game. People were saying it was going to be from a legendary Japanese series, and yes, it was. Ninja Gaiden 4 was announced from Platinum Games and Team Ninja. It's coming out this year, fall 2025. It looks insane. It looks like Rising Revengeance on steroids. Like, it looks like a Platinum Games game, but it doesn't really remind me of the other Xbox, not the Xbox. Well, they were exclusives when they first came out on the original, I think. The Ninja Gaiden games that were the 3D Ninja Gaiden games.
Yeah.
They also stealth dropped Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. It's out right now on PC, Game Pass, and PS5. The thing costs $50.
Really?
It's a little steep for like a 20-year-old game that you remastered, but
yeah.
I don't know. So the other games that were there, Doom: The Dark Ages. Now, the release date had leaked as May 15th. Turns out to be correct. It's out May 15th. I am so in. This is so stupid. You're in the Middle Ages. Well, you're in the what? In the Dark Ages, and you're going to be driving a mech, fighting a freaking dragon in a mech or something. Like, I am so in on this game. I can't wait. I love that it came out that they showed off that there are game speed and difficulty sliders. Yes. Of course, Colin's like, if you use difficulty options, you should not be able to get the platinum trophy. First off, I'm not going to be trying to even get the platinum in this game. I guarantee it. But the fact that there are options there for somebody who is old and not great at video games anymore, like me, I'm in. Are you in on this?
I'm intrigued by this game. I don't know. I might wait for you and try it out and see if it's really my thing. It looks cool, but it's also a first-person shooter, which does not usually jive with me. I never played not the original, but the last one,
Eternal,
where that was the one where you said, like, if you kill an enemy this way, you get this, and if you
glory
kill an
kills
enemy,
give you life. The other things give you shield. The other, and then another way gets you ammo. Yeah,
that just like I can't. And I don't know if this one's going to be that way, but like, I don't know. I'm interested, but I'm not ready to dive in yet.
South of Midnight is out April 8th, and Expedition 33 Claire Obscura is out April 24th. Now remember also, Microsoft has like in a week or two, whatever, Avowed is coming out.
Oh yeah.
Say what you want about Microsoft, and I do.
They're making games.
They're making games. PlayStation isn't. Speaking of PlayStation, there were some leadership changes announced at Sony. Hideaki Nishino has now been named the sole president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. Herman Hulst is no longer the co-CEO, but he is still the CEO of Studio Business Group, and he reports now to Hideaki Nishino. It was so stupid when they announced two co-CEOs to begin with. It's like when
The Office.
Yes, I was going to say you got co-managers.
Jim
it's like,
and Michael.
This is stupid. I don't know what it means. I do wonder if Sony leadership and Nishino specifically is like, Herman, you were behind some of this bullshit with these live service games as well. God of War live service, yeah, you're getting shut down. Producer for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 said the game, don't worry, the game will not be a PS6 exclusive. And he did say that the game has been in active development for 9 months. What he was really saying is you're not going to have to wait until the PS6 comes out to be able to play it. He doesn't say it's not going to be a PS5 exclusive. I'm guessing it is for a little bit, just like Rebirth in the first one. But it's good to know that they're thinking it's going to come out before PS6. That's good to know. I can't wait. Switch 2 released another animation where they show how you actually take the Joy-Cons off of the screen, off of the main part. I don't know what you would call it. The console, the screen part.
The Joy console.
There's a button. It looks like it's going to work. I hate the buttons on the regular Switch.
It's like,
yeah,
like I don't know.
I always feel like I'm going to hit a button that's going to do something on the screen I don't want it to, because I'm pushing the button back here and I'm having to grab the Joy-Con and slide it off, and I'm like, well, but now I'm hitting Y, and so the button is, it's kind of like almost like it's hidden under the the thing where the two triggers are. It's like under there. You just go and it just under there, underwear, and you just push that, and I guess it demagnetizes it or whatever, and then you can get it off. That's cool.
I assume it's still like a release, like a clip that I think the magnet just kind of sucks it in. But I don't think you turn off the magnet with the button. I assume it's just it
maybe
disengages a clip, and
the
then
things go.
The magnets aren't so strong
And
that
then
you have to be like, I don't think it's that strong of a
science, bitch. EA announced that Dragon Age Veilguard and EA FC 25 underperformed. Dragon Age actually missed their expectations by over 50%. Maybe don't make a game where they ridicule you for 17 minutes in a cutscene for misgendering somebody. I'm not all games are woke and all that. Like, I don't get into all that shit. But this game, the things I saw from this game were like, wow. Who is like, not who's making this, who is above these people that's like, yes, this is a fantastic idea. Dragon Age is probably dead forever now. Insomniac CEO Ted Price has announced he's retiring. Good for Ted. They will now have 3 co-studio heads. They are Ryan Schneider, Chad DeZern, and Jen Huang. Summer Game Fest has been officially announced. It's Friday, June 6th. Here we go. Keeley's doing it already. He said he promises, quote, spectacular announcements and reveals. Don't get tricked by Keeley, guys. I know the Game Awards was awesome. Don't get tricked. Make him earn it. Phil Spencer says no series. Oh, that's okay. Phil Spencer said that there will be no, because people were starting to wonder, like, are they ever going to just leave the Series S behind? Because all the issues there were with, like, Baldur's Gate 3 and some other Black Myth Wukong, it wasn't that Sony paid to make it exclusive. It's that to bring it to Xbox, it has to work on Series S also, and they couldn't get it working because Series S sucks, compared to even though what I said earlier. But Phil Spencer said there will be no Series X exclusive games. The games being required to work on Series S will continue. It's not going anywhere. He also, so he did an interview with Destin Legary. You know, he left IGN. He's doing his own thing. Mm-hmm. He hinted that, yeah, Starfield might come to PS5.
I mean, it's going.
Spoiler alert, it's coming to PS5. It was also just announced today, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition and Age of Mythology Retold also coming to PS5. A lot of people are wondering, is it going to be at the Switch 2 thing where they announced Master Chief Collection for Switch 2? Also, yeah, it's coming to PS5. Nintendo says, speaking of it, that they are making preparations to combat Switch 2 resellers. They don't own the internet, so I don't know
how you stop. Like, I don't know. Unless you do it like, which I can't imagine they would, but I also wouldn't put anything past Nintendo. Do some kind of thing like with like how iPhones are, where they're like locked to a character. Like when you buy it, it's like you put in your Nintendo ID or something when you buy it, and it comes pre-programmed. Turn that console on,
it's only you that can use it. Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know how you combat that. I don't either. Unless that just means we're going to put a crap ton out there, so they're not in that.
That's what I think. And that's what I think. One of the reasons it's taken so long for it to come out, and I'm not.
They want to make sure they have ample.
That they've got plenty. I think they want to sell 20 million in the first year. I think is what I read at some point. Wow. MLB The Show 25, no surprise. It's coming out again. It's coming out March 18th. However, for the first time since it came to Xbox, it will not be on Game Pass. That's very interesting. Also, it's not coming out on PS4 and Xbox One. That is shocking to me. That is one of those games that I just assume will keep coming out on PS4 basically until
even
PS6
with the PS6.
Yeah. PlayStation 30th anniversary themes are gone, or are they gone? It said they're gone, but I feel like when I go in, I still hear PS3 noises. Maybe they're not gone yet, but they're coming back. Thank you, Sony. It should have never. This is so stupid. Why would you?
But is that what they said?
Yes. They said, we're making preparations to bring this back in the coming months. It was something like that.
But I didn't, maybe I misread it. I didn't take it. The way I read it is, yes, these are going away, but don't worry, there's other stuff coming.
No, they said, but we're going to bring them back once we figure out. It's a friggin' theme.
Like, it's already there.
Why?
Just stop it from going away.
Yes, just take away the thing that says 30th anniversary and just let it be a PS3, a PS2, or a PS1, or a PS4. Like, it's not that hard. Speaking of Sony and stupid things, the PlayStation login, the PSN login, will no longer be required for single-player games on PC, but if you log into games, you do probably get some in-game bonuses. Super Mario Party Jamboree has hit over 6 million copies sold in just 11 weeks. Fastest-selling Super Mario Party game ever. Good. Silent Hill 2 has now hit 2 million copies sold. This makes me so happy. And I hope, like, Konami realizes, like, yeah, we don't have to make games. Like, Snake Eater, they released on the Konami hotline, whatever, they released the entire intro to the game, and I was like, oh, this looks amazing. I can't watch it. Like, I want to save it. Oh, Konami. When do we get the announcement of a Castlevania game? Speaking of Nocturne, like, give it to somebody like, you know, the people that are making Ragebound, like the Game Kitchen or whatever, or there's so many good devs that could do an awesome Castlevania game. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, of course, it's Game Pass, so they're not going to say sales numbers, but it has been played by 4 million players since release. I was not excited for this game at all And then I was like, and it's not because it's coming to PlayStation. I'm not being a baby. But when I hear people play it, I'm like, this sounds freaking awesome.
I have not. I know it's reviewed well, but I haven't read any reviews. I haven't watched any reviews. Like, other than what I've seen in the trailers, I haven't seen anything else. I'm still kind of... The first person part still seems kind of weird, but apparently it works.
Apparently it works perfectly, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Multiverse Season 5, it was announced, is the last for Multiverses. Yeah, why did I say multiverse? Multiverses. And it is getting delisted at the end of May. When this game came out at first in early access, it was like the cows meow.
No.
The cats meow.
The cats moo.
Yes. Biggest thing ever. Everybody loves it, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, it's dead. We're just going to take it offline in May. It was announced Resident Evil movie reboot. Jesus, I'm tired. Reboot. Hello, Rabbit. Is coming from PlayStation Productions. The quote about it says, it will be a revamp that will take the title to its horror roots and be more faithful to the initial games. Thank you. Again, I don't know.
Hope so.
I don't know. It's survival horror because you're playing through it. You are in control. Yes.
You can't just have a Resident Evil movie where you're like, I found the diamond key. Let's go back to that room now. Like,
here's the liquor thing and whatever. It crawled by the window.
You can obviously make it more faithful to the games than
what
any of the movies have been so far. But it also can't just be like watching somebody go through the mansion. Like,
right.
I don't know. But I'm looking forward to it.
Switch Online got some SNES updates. Fatal Fury 2 and Super Ninja Boy. Switch Online N64 got Ridge Racer 64. This is the only re-release of this game ever. Also, I didn't realize this, but it makes sense. Ridge Racer 64 is the only non-PlayStation Ridge Racer to ever come home. So it's pretty cool that it's now going to be playable on Switch.
Yeah.
We also got the PS Plus Essential games announced for February. They are Payday 3, High on Life. I don't think I can handle that game. It's so annoying.
I can't.
And Pac-Man World Repack. They also announced that in January of 2026, PS4 games will no longer be offered for free, quote unquote, every month. They might still come every once in a while, but like, yes, the system it'll been 6 years since the PS5 came out. I think that's a good idea. Also, just PS4 games. I mean, PSVR 2 games. Hello.
Yeah.
It should be an every month thing, whether it's premium or whatever. I know it's most months, but not every month. Sean, that is it for this episode of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. Thank you all so much for being here. Everybody, go root against the Chiefs. But until the next time, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Whoopsie. Thank you for playing.
Oopsie.